Following the swearing-in of Professor Kithure Kindiki as the Deputy President, it is official that Rigathi Gachagua has ceased to hold the office following his ouster. However, in what could be a double blow, the debate on whether he loses his perks takes center stage, as Ian Keitani now explains.
As the dust settles on Rigathi Gachagua's ouster, the former DP will now wait to see whether he will get his retirement packs or not. The Retirement Benefits Act of 2015 provides a comprehensive framework for the pension and other benefits of a retired deputy president. However, it does not explicitly address the scenario of an impeached deputy president. According to the Act, retired deputy president means a person who, having held the office of deputy president, has ceased to hold office in the manner specified in the Constitution. The Act states that a retired deputy president will be accorded a monthly pension equal to 80% of the monthly salary of the entitled person's last monthly salary while in office. A lump sum payment on retirement calculated as a sum equal to 1 year's salary paid for each term served in office. One saloon vehicle of an engine capacity not exceeding 2,000 cc, which shall be replaceable once every 4 years. One four-wheel drive vehicle of an engine capacity not exceeding 3,000 cc, which shall be replaceable once every 4 years. A fuel allowance equal to 15% of current monthly salary of the office holder. Full medical and hospital cover, providing for local and overseas treatment with a reputable insurance company for the entitled person and the entitled person's spouse, and the additional benefits set out in the first schedule. Mbeere North legislator Geoffrey Ruto says that an impeached DP cannot enjoy retirement perks.
Rigathi Gachagua will not be entitled to any benefit. He will go home with zero benefit because he did not resign. He was impeached.
The RBA of 2015 states that despite the provisions of Section 3, the National Assembly may, on a motion supported by the votes not less than half of the members thereof, resolve that an entitled person, surviving spouse or children, as the case may be, shall not receive any benefits conferred by this Act on the grounds that such person ceased to hold office on account of having acted in willful violation of the Constitution, was guilty of gross misconduct, or has, since ceasing to hold office, been convicted of an offense and sentenced to imprisonment for a term of 3 years or more, without the option of a fine. During the impeachment process, both the Senate and the National Assembly approved Gachagua's ouster on grounds of gross misconduct and violation of the Constitution.
Gross misconduct that is incompatible with the high calling and dignified status of the office of the Deputy President, a member of the Cabinet and the National Security Council. His Excellency the Deputy President has publicly attacked and undermined the work of the National Intelligence Service and its officers.
As to whether Gachagua will demand for his retirement perks remains a question that only the ousted DP can answer, and if so, his fate lies with the same legislators who voted to impeach him. If indeed it gets to that point, the MPs will vote on whether to accord him the perks or not, as stipulated in the Retirement Benefits Act provisions of Section 4.
Now, President William Ruto has directed security agencies across the country to combat the troubling rise in femicide cases. Speaking at the swearing-in ceremony of his deputy, Kithure Kindiki, at KICC, Ruto urged society to remain vigilant and proactive in identifying these criminals. This comes just days after the National Police Service reported 97 cases of femicide in the last 3 months alone, spurring civil society groups to demand that the government acknowledge femicide as a national crisis, calling for dedicated funding and resources to address it.
In the office of the Deputy President.
In a sobering moment during the swearing-in of Deputy President Kithure Kindiki, President William Ruto addressed a growing crisis of femicide.
We have seen incidences of our girls, our mothers, our women, who have been murdered in cold blood. And let me say this, that the DCI and all the investigative authorities in the Republic of Kenya must stand up to these criminals, and we must deal decisively and firmly.
He called on society to be vigilant and to help identify those committing these heinous crimes.
And I want to ask us as a society to be careful with strangers, to be careful with people who lure our girls, our women into situations that compromise their security.
His call to action mirrors the harsh reality. 97 femicide cases reported in just 3 months this year, according to the National Police Service.
The country has reported 97 cases of femicide. This troubling trend highlights the urgent need for focused actions and collaboration to tackle the widespread problem of gender-based violence in our society.
One particularly horrific case involves Collins Jumaisi, who is accused of murdering 6 women. Despite escaping from Gigiri police station, he remains at large, fueling public outrage and cries for accountability.
One woman being killed is just too many. 97 is incomprehensible. This alarming state of crisis demands action from every corner of our society.
This year alone, FIDA Kenya documented at least 30 cases of women killed by intimate partners, many of which have been inadequately investigated by the National Police Service.
National Police Service has a role to investigate. They are part of the government. It is their role to investigate these cases when they happen. It is the role of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution to prosecute. It is then the role of the judiciary to punish. So we've engaged in conversations with these stakeholders at all levels.
Calls are intensifying for the government to formally classify femicide as a national crisis and to create a dedicated law in the penal code. Harriet Chimea, K24.
Now, despite Nandi Senator Samson Cherargei alleging that most Kenyans were in favor of his Amendment Bill 2024 that seeks to extend terms of office for various politicians, a Senate report does not support this assertion. The Senate Standing Committee on Justice and Legal Affairs tabled the report that indicates majority of Kenyans and institutions were opposed to the bill, which also includes other constitutional amendments. Timothy Seymour reports.
Thank you, Chair.
Submissions received from stakeholders and members of the public on the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill 2024 largely opposed the Samson Cherargei-sponsored bill. This is despite a defiant Cherargei alleging 60% of the submissions received supported the bill and only a paltry 40% dissented. The bill is aimed at amending Article 58 of the Constitution, which, among others, seeks to extend the terms of office of the President, members of Parliament, governors and members of the county assemblies from 5 to 7 years. According to the committee, a public hearing held on 25th October, 36 speakers opposed the bill in its entirety, while one stakeholder, namely Bunge la Mwananchi, spoke in support of the bill. At the close of the public participation period, the report reads, the committee had received a total of 168,801 submissions on the bill. Save for 11 stakeholders who submitted specific comments on the respective clauses of the bill, the rest of the submissions, representing 99.99%, expressed strong opposition to the bill, either in its entirety or specifically to the clauses relating to extension of terms. Ufungamano Joint Forum and Charlotte Kibet, for instance, opines that the bill is self-seeking, self-centered and seeks to preserve the interests of the ruling class. Evangelical Alliance of Kenya argues that the current 5-year term is sufficient for the electorate to evaluate leaders' performance for re-election purposes. Elected leaders from across the political divide, among them National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah, have also denounced the bill's proposals. The bill also contained other amendments relating to the mandate and functions of the Senate within the bicameral legislature and devolved system of government, as well as the creation of the Prime Minister's office. Timothy Seymour, K24 TV.
Right, we're taking a short break right here on Friday Live, and we'll be back with our conversation, which is quite serious today. We're speaking about the spate of killings in the country. Do stay with us. And of course, we already do have our guests in studio. And I would like you to, of course, see them. They're right here. Thank you so much for coming, ladies. You know, we are going to tackle a very core conversation. So I'll be back, of course, with my, audience. Sorry, what am I saying? With my guests. And of course, we'll be talking to you, our audience. I beg your pardon. And of course, we'll be having more of this core conversation in just a bit. Do stay with us.